Alright, good afternoon, and welcome back to our Guild Wars 2 personal story playthrough. So after some deliberation, I decided to continue the playthrough today. I was considering taking a few days off, um, but decided to go ahead and keep moving forward. So with that in mind, let's continue to try and track down these things, right? So these are the devices that are going to prevent this place, these islands here, from essentially exploding as a result of the pressure that's building up because of magic and because of Primordus. So that is our most pressing task right now, right? We have a few things, a few irons in the fire, a couple too many, in my opinion. But my opinion is what it is. Um, Primordus is apparently doing his thing. Jormag is also apparently doing his thing. Caudecus is doing his thing, and the island is threatening to do its thing if we don't figure it out. So, all these things that we want to kind of get a grasp on. So, the most imminent threat is the island exploding before we even have a chance to deal with the Primordus or Jormag threat or, Caudecus, which seems like a low priority right now, right? I mean, honestly, and that's part of the problem with just creating too many things for the commander and making it just a big clown fiesta of world-ending threats is why does Caudecus matter to us now? I mean, so he's a threat to like the Crichton throne. All right, isn't that like Logan's job to deal with that? Isn't that Countess Anisa's job to deal with that? Like, why in the world, with all the things, and by the way, they got Canuck on the job. Like, we were accompanying Canuck in the previous chapter. It's not like Canuck was like, oh my gosh, if you would please help me, like, what am I going to do without you? We kind of invited ourselves along on that whole thing. So, um, the idea that like, that we have to be paying attention to all these things simultaneously is kind of a bit much, right? And beyond the data that we've already gathered, like, what is our interest really in the Fire Islands? Honestly, like, all right, so we gathered the data about dragon minions gaining, the dragons gaining other dragons' powers as they are killed and so forth. Like we understand that now. So, what is like everybody, evacuate the Fire Islands, get out of here.
Excellent. An assistant arrives. I must remember to thank Timey once we're out of here. Now to business. What do you suppose this contraption is?
It's an ancient dwarven device, one of 4. And if we don't fix it and activate it, this island is going to erupt.
Well, you're surprisingly well informed for an assistant. Okay then. This machine was shattered by a volcanic bomb expelled from the caldera. Parts scattered everywhere. I can fix it if I get the missing parts, and then power it by harvesting latent magical energy from the caldera. I'd certainly appreciate assistance gathering parts and keeping the local wildlife at bay, if you're willing and able.
Okay, I'll get it done.
Alright, we're going to help out scientists quick. We're going to put aside the question of if the technology was like so specific that we needed Roban or whatever his name was, his thumb to get it working in the first place, then how is this guy going to put it back together? We're just going to set that off to the side. I mean, that's like super typical. That is 100% like nothing new. I don't even know that it's like terribly egregious in the grand scheme of things, because because it's a normal part of Guild Wars 2 storytelling. That's why. The thing they're most consistent with is their inconsistency. Where's the last one? I thought it was up here somewhere. Dwarven artifact, dwarven artifact. We're missing one machine part still. Is it way up here? And I forgot about that. So here's another one. Can we just take what's left of this one? What is that doing there? I don't remember that being there before. Apparently not. Keep looking. It's actually really weird. I don't remember it being that hard to find. I mean, like, the area for searching for them is relatively small. Oh man, I'm at a loss. What's going on here? I'm really missing a trick. I got 4, bro. Can you make do with 4? No? Alright. So I actually did that to try and like reset it. Because it's really weird that the 5th machine part isn't just like popping up. It should be visible just like all these dwarven artifacts and the other machine parts were. Sod token. I think there's an achievement for like using these updrafts to like go through that tunnel without like getting all burnt up by lava, if I remember correctly. I don't really have any interest in it at the moment, but I do think that it's a thing if I remember it. So strange.
Battle awaits.
So I don't really want these dwarven artifacts. Again, I'm trying to figure out something because it's not that hard to find. And I'm wondering if like somehow I did something to cause it to like not appear properly or something. Or if I'm, like I said, or if I'm just missing a trick. You know, if this is kind of like the sky scale thing where like the first egg and the first 6 sky scale and everything are like right next to Goric. If there was a part like right next to that dude. But I just went up there, I should have seen him.
do some real damage.
Alright, that worked. It reset all the machine parts, but kept me at 4 or 5. Super weird, man. I don't know why that happened. I've said a few times over the years, as the game gets older and older, it does more and more weird stuff. Like, it kind of gets more and more unstable, which I think makes sense. And it's like not really bad in the grand scheme of things.
Proven more useful than I expected.
Thank you.
There's still one more machine I must activate. Do you know where I can find it?
We detected the signature of another one of these devices in the Mersat fortress, west of here near the coast. We'd have investigated it already, but none of us have dared set foot in that perilous place. Do be careful, Commander.
I will. I will be careful. Oh yeah, let's activate this thing. So the island, like, doesn't explode.
Is it just me or...
There we go. Oh, good. We unlocked the reward track. Super important. So what do you think? Are the exact same people AFK farming in the exact same spot today? What do you think? Because 100% they are. Get the idea that they're like studying for their like bachelor's degree or something right now is ridiculous. And yep, same people. Let's see. What about over here? These ones are different people. Yeah, maybe. Actually, no, I don't think they are. I think they're all the same people. Shouldn't be surprised to anyone. Like I said, the idea that the defense that is proffered on the subreddit, that these, you know, it's like the stripper defense, right? She's paying her way through med school. No, she's paying for cocaine. Like, come on, man. Nobody's falling for that. They are not, you know, studying for their bachelor's degree while they do this. If you believe that, you are more gullible than most. And I kind of feel bad for you. But I do have some really nice real estate to sell you. Super cheap. I can get you a great interest rate. I know interest rates are bad right now, but I promise you, because I'm a good person, that I can do it. Alright, one more machine. Let's go check it out. So the Mersat Fortress, right? So that's actually one of the things that brought us here in the first place, in the first game. Oh, here's one of the events that I was talking about. This is actually the one that's like a little bit hard. We want that. I know that's why build templates exist, so I don't have to do that, but I never changed my habits when they introduced build templates. And one of my habits was this is kind of an interesting thing. Oh no, I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. One of my habits was that if I wanted to have like multiple builds, like let's say I wanted to have like 5 different warrior builds to play around with, right? Then I would have 5 different warriors. And that's exactly why people wanted. Oh no, problematic. That's exactly why people. Oh no. Wanted build templates is so they didn't have to have 5 warriors to have 5 warrior builds. But I already had established that habit as a player on my main account because I love having alts anyway. So my main account has 1 million characters. It actually has 70, I believe, because I think that's max for most people. There are a few people out there with more. It's like a weird thing. I don't remember. It was some kind of glitchy thing where they got more. But I believe it's 70 on my main account. And thus I have roughly 9 of each class, 10 of some classes. So, wait, is that right? No, I'm sorry. Either 7 or 8 of each class. Oh, we're going to get that mastery here in a second, too. So I always enjoyed having a Condi berserker and a power berserker and a, you know, core warrior and a power spellbreaker and like a spellbreaker specifically for World vs. World, even though I was a terrible spellbreaker in World vs. World, and all these things. But yes, what Arenanet wants you to do is have. Apparently, what they want you to do is have a handful of characters. I don't understand. Is this more profitable for them than people having a whole bunch of alts? I don't know. But they want you to get the build templates instead of getting more alts. Now, I think probably it's safe to assume that people who love having alts are going to get them anyway. So if they can get you to buy both the build templates and the character slots, well, then they're really winning, aren't they? Alright, yay. No, no, no. Oh, it's a lot of lava. Can I catch that? Nope. Come on, man. There, should be able to catch it now. Or not. Alright, fine. I give up. I'm bad at this game. We'll crawl all the way out of here. And continue trying to find the last thingamabob, right? Captain Grumby will help us.
Ahoy there, friend. Watch your step up ahead. The fortress is fit with defenses that will tear you to shreds.
Is that what happened to you?
Me? No, not exactly. My name's Grumby. I used to work for the White Mantle as a ferry captain here. Then they started sacrificing people for that bloodstone. And it wasn't long before I found myself on the altar. I stuck around warning wayward travelers about the dangers up ahead. So, consider yourself warned.
The warning's appreciated, but I have to get inside that fortress. There's a machine inside I need to activate. If I fail, these islands will be destroyed. How can I get past the defenses?
The defenses only allow Mersat to enter. Anybody who doesn't look the part is cut down where they stand.
Could I disguise myself as a Mersat to fool the defenses?
What? That'll never work. Wait, could that work? That might actually work. There's some Mersat armor nearby. It's very well defended. But if you can get it, it'd make a serviceable disguise.
Only one way to find out.
Worst case scenario, the Scourge of the Mersat claims another innocent. But at least I'll have some company.
Right, and that's what I want, to hang out with the ghost of Captain Grumby for all time. So if you really wanted to go down a super weird rabbit hole, note that the ghost of Captain Grumby looks nothing like what we normally associate ghosts as looking like, right? Does not look... Oh, this is what we're going to look like in a minute, by the way. The process he just described, this person just went through. Normally we associate the ghost with a completely different look. He does, however, look much more similar to the ghosts in Bloodstone Fen, right? Who have a very similar appearance to this. Also look different than the ghosts we're accustomed to seeing, say, in like old Ascalon, like the humans who were killed in the Ascalonians that the Char fight in there, so forth. So, if you wanted to ask a question kind of within the lore, and you took his appearance to be more than just they had a cool texture and they wanted to use it, yeah, I guess we'll fight this guy. Then you could kind of, because of the relationship between the ghosts, Captain Grumby here, and the ghosts in Bloodstone Fen, one might ask the question if dying as a result of Bloodstone somehow altered them, because they have that in common, and they both have that, you know, that dark, cloudy appearance in common versus the light blue, kind of ethereal-looking ghosts that we normally see. Or again, it just might be that Arenanet really likes that they think it looks cool. It does look cool, so might as well use it. I don't know. Could go either way on it. Let's keep going up, actually. Alright. So we got too close to the jump puzzle. The jump puzzle's kind of back in behind there. So, yes, that's why I took away my bunny. Very sad. So when Pathfire was like getting ready to happen, we were getting like the trailers and stuff. Springer was the mount that I was least excited for. It's a really good mount. Really is. Interestingly, the one that I was most excited about is actually like really kind of niche and doesn't get used a ton, which is Skimmer. I was really excited about Skimmer when I saw the trailers and stuff, and Skimmer really just doesn't end up being all that impressive.
Well, you sure look the part. Those defenses shouldn't trouble you now. Good luck in your search. If you fail and the volcano erupts, at least it'll take this terrible place with it.
Captain Grumby. Has anyone ever told you you are a huge buzzkill? Probably. Those of us who are huge buzzkills get told a lot. To the point where it's annoying. Alright. Up we go. Gonna track down this last little machine and save the island so that we continue meddling around with all sorts of nonsense. This would be a rough fight if you were to come up here. Not that you couldn't do it, like certainly you could. But just like all these Jade Armors, it would get really annoying. But you can come up here like without... And in fact we did. We came over here to get the thing, right? Oh, is someone else up here right now? Hey, don't attack me, man. What are they attacking? Oh, is my pet my pet is invisible while I'm like this. But they can see my pet and they are attacking it. But they won't harm me because I'm currently in this form. That is really interesting. And really weird. I never noticed that before. I've done this as a ranger, but it's been a really long time ago. So I didn't remember that was kind of a thing. Alright, this is kind of cool, to be honest. And look, final machine. There we go. Unfortunately, now the island is slightly less metal than it used to be. What is interesting about that, though, I actually really wish they'd done it the opposite, and there was no lava coming out of the eyes and stuff until after we complete this phase. Because the flow of lava and like lava spewing out and stuff should, in fact, suggests that the pressure is being relieved. The flow of the lava is what is... If the lava's bottled up, pressure is increasing. So I kind of wish they'd done that the other way. And then there would be like this cool reward where you like feel great about having, having succeeded at this. Because now like the island looks way more metal than it did before. And we love that, right? That's like, that's pretty awesome. Oh well. At the end of the day, I don't care that much. Again, as much as I think this is a decent map, it's not exactly a place we'll be coming back to. I don't recall ever coming back here at any point in time for like story later on. Well, unless you're doing, unless you're coming back, you're circling around for the return to achievements, or you are doing like Aurora, in which case you will definitely come back. I've already done everything here for Aurora and on my main account. I just haven't got around to finishing it. You know, and you know what a huge part of it is? I just don't want to do the gift battle. Since I stopped playing with my World vs. World guild, I don't go into World vs. World anymore. They were good peeps. It just wasn't where I was at right now. So nothing changed, by the way, in terms of the map appearance when we're out in the map. So it's cool for an instance, but nothing's actually changed over here. I was kind of curious about that. That's why I hadn't like waypointed or anything. I wanted to run over here and actually see. And yeah, no change. So we can still appreciate how hardcore the volcanoes here are.
Come on, people. Get it together.
Roban.
The Isles are downright peaceful. Guess you found all of the contraptions, huh? Of course, it won't be long until the torrent builds again. Perhaps by then I'll have these script whipped into shape. Hey, you still with me, friend? You've got this faraway look in your eyes.
It's because I'm drunk. That's pretty cool. What if they use like a kaleidoscope type program to do that? Looks like this is another super quiet cutscene. It's really weird that that's happening.
Hey, where'd you float off to just now? You all right?
I just had a vision. A pretty ominous one.
A vision? You sure it's not just the heat playing tricks on you?
This was no hallucination. I have to get back to Tarir as soon as possible.
Guess I'll have to take your word for it. Well, thank you for the help, friend. The Fire Islands owe you a great debt.
Alright. What is happening in Trier? We need to go find out. We need to go find out. And we can leave this island and all the AFK farmers behind us. Because we probably, for the story playthrough, I don't think we'll ever come back here. Trier. What's going on there? By the way, the fact that on this account, I think it's just this account too. I don't think I'm experiencing it on other accounts. And this isn't a Steam account, so it's on the same client using the same files as all my other accounts. I have no idea why I'm experiencing that, and it is the weirdest thing. The super quiet cutscenes is just super bizarre. Anyway, it does give us the opportunity to examine the idea, you know, the importance of like sound and music to, you know, create the mood when you're, you know, doing some sort of media, whether movies or video games or whatever. Because that would be a lot more ominous had the sound been there. As it is, it didn't seem that ominous because the music did not or the imagery did not adequately express that to us without the music. Had we had both, we would have seen like, oh yeah, this is serious business. But apparently the egg maybe is hatching, and apparently there's a threat to it. All right, we see like tendrils moving towards it. That's not good though, right? Mortimer's dead. Why would we have tendrils? I don't know. Oh, there's something very similar to what we saw in the instance, actually. Ruka, what's up, buddy?
Thank Glint. We tried to get
Thank
word
Glint.
to you. I contacted your friends to see if they could locate you too.
The egg called to me. Is everything okay?
Yes, most okay. It's hatching, Commander. Glint's second scion will soon be here.
We should get inside. Marjorie and Kate. You called Kate, too.
I wasn't called, but I was nearby and word spread fast. This is very exciting.
Where's Ritlock? I thought he was with you.
He's indisposed. Ruka, can we all go in?
I'm sorry, but you're still the only one attuned to the chamber. The magical barrier will not allow us.
Great. I'll just stay out here with the glowy guy.
It will give us a chance to catch up, Marjorie.
Don't be gone too long, Commander.
Yeah, see? Marjorie knows what's up. Kate is trash and no one wants to be around her. I don't like it, by the way, when people are real garbage and then think they can fix it by being nice. Don't do that. It's kind of what Kate is doing here, right? Like, trying to be, Marjorie, we can catch up. No one wants to catch up with you, Kate. You being nice doesn't, contrary to popular... Being nice and expressing contrition are two different things. They're not the same at all. Oh, look. A baby dragon. Why was Irene looking at the monsters like that? Oh, she's supposed to be hissing at him? I thought she was giving him a big old grin.
Commander, the chamber! Something's wrong! Hold them off while I write this.
How traumatic to literally be attacked as soon as you're born. Like, that must be a terrible feeling. Poor little Irene. As the story goes on and on, I'm actually going to grow quite tired of Irene. I don't love her as a character. You know, over it, quite, well over it. However, as we go back to, when this was brand new content, right? Oh, by the way, I was talking over dialogue. The chamber is designed to reattune to the newborn's unique signature, but this technology is centuries old. Something must have malfunctioned. Keep them away from me. I'll repair it as soon as I'm able. Alright, so we got to protect the newborn baby dragon, who does not have a name yet, but we'll have a name here in a second. And it's going to be Irene. Protect it. Protect Glint's hatchling is what it is right now, apparently. So we need to protect Glint's hatchling. I know there are some folks out there who don't consider the design, like the actual, not the design of the instance or something, but the actual design of Irene there to be like very good. It's kind of, they think it's kind of silly or whatever. I don't necessarily have a problem with the design. In fact, I really don't think it's bad at all. But I can say that in hindsight, right? Oh, did I completely ignore? Yeah, that does a bunch of damage to her shield there, so I needed to pay more attention to that and less attention to just killing that thing. Because now you can see she took a big chunk out of the shield there. So we're not gonna fail this. It's not like, oh, she's gonna die. She's not gonna die. There is an achievement for keeping that shield level above a certain point. It's not generally an achievement I achieve with, unless I'm on Reaper. Which is as close as I have to a main class these days. So we pick these up. We can actually use them against... Oop. Kind of screwed ourselves there a little bit. Oh, man, we're going to have more problems here in a second. Yeah, definitely not going to get it on this run, which is fine. In fact, I played through this on the 0-0, I believe. Wait, did I? Maybe not this one. Maybe not this one. Oh, no! There, let's, lots of bad guys. Yes, like I was saying, it kind of like we may die because I'm kind of bad at the game, and there's a lot going on here. But it's designed to be one of those things where it's not. Yeah, see, so there we go. It's designed for you to feel overwhelmed, and then that happens.
Marjorie, Kate.
They're tied up in battle as well. I do not come with ill intentions.
Then earn my goodwill. Don't let the destroyers up those stairs. And give the dragon a wide berth, Lazarus. It would be a pity to have your second life be short-lived.
Okay, so honestly, like, who does the commander think she is? Or, I don't know. Whatever your commander is. Who do they think they are? Like, we're in a real bad spot if Lazarus doesn't show up right then and conduct a massive attack, which kills, like, 15 destroyers. So unless you are, like, the guy who likes to solo, like, level 99 fractals, unless you're him, right now Lazarus is demonstrating a lot more capability than the commander is. So, like, why are we threatening why are we picking a fight with Lazarus right now? That seems like it's ill-advised, I think. Wait, did I not pick that thing? Pick it up, dude. Now, what's interesting about, like, this very specific targeted attack here is it kind of runs contrary to, like, what we associate Primordus as being. Right? Different dragons seem to show, like, different degrees of not just intelligence, but awareness. Really. And Primordus definitely, as far as we can tell, is, like, lowest on the scale. So, I didn't quite move fast enough there. But this is, like, a very specific thing for them to attack right when the egg hatches and all that. Which kind of, like, how did Primordus and his minions pull that off, right? Is the question I am left asking, I suppose. I'm just going to grab this real quick and throw that over there. Whoops.
You'll be doing that one for days.
Yeah, we're about to go below that threshold for that achievement. Because I think it's 50% if I remember right. And we're definitely below it now. Little help, Lazarus. Like, I feel like you're not doing nearly as much as you did a second ago. Like, where's that huge, big, fiery attack? Nowhere to be pick that up, man. Nowhere to be found, apparently.
I feel good.
Did we do that? I didn't realize we even did that.
Sorry, we got held up outside. Destroyers, what's happening?
It's done, Commander. The barrier has been restored. The Scion of Glint is safe.
Not until that Mersat is out of here.
A Mersot. The Forgotten passed on tales of these creatures. I never thought I'd encounter one. You are the dragon's champion and shepherd. When may I suggest purging this impurity directly?
The Mersot I was in the tales of the Forgotten is dead. I have been reborn, and rising from the void brings with it a new perspective. We previously sought power through treacherous means, only to save ourselves when the dragons rose. But now, I see we must all stand against the dragons to save everyone.
You hope to align yourself with me.
You have killed two, have you not? Our interests are the same. The fire dragon is rising. I cannot stand idly by and repeat past mistakes. My actions since returning proved me a useful ally.
Like when you destroyed the Bloodstone.
The Bloodstone was destabilized by years of misguided White Mantle tinkering. I did absorb the blast to repower myself, but also, how many countless lives were saved?
What's the angle you're running? What's in an alliance for you?
The salvation of this world. The White Mantle is splintering. Those who follow Caudecus and those loyal to me. I can make them a force for good. Another spear in an army against the dragons.
This is the same accord the Mersot struck with the Forgotten. Then, they simply broke their word and disappeared.
That was a cowardly act of self-preservation, and something I will not repeat.
You seem earnest enough, so I hope you'll understand when I tell you there's no way I can agree to this. I can't keep an eye on you at all times.
I have an idea, Commander. I'll do it. I'll dig into his claim. And if Lazarus is truly changed, we can reassess the situation.
I welcome any inquiries.
Oh, it'll be much more than that. I'm going to be embedded with you, shadow your every move.
Marjorie, can I speak with you a moment?
Listen to that tone from the commander. I mean, that's not a collaborative tone. This isn't collaborative behavior from the commander.
What are you doing? He absorbed the Bloodstone's power. We obviously can't just easily put him down if his story doesn't check out.
He's touched death, Commander. And now he's back. There's something... The necromancer in me wants to find out more. And, who knows?
I can't let you do that. It could be a trap. It's probably a trap. It's almost certainly a trap.
There's something about him. It makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up. And I can't tell if it's in a good way or a bad way. But I do plan to find out. I'm glad to be a part of Dragon's Watch, and I appreciate you looking out for me. But I won't be told what I can or can't do.
Good. Good for you, Martyr. I mean, you're doing something stupid, and that should be obvious, and is, I assume, intended to be obvious to the player. But Commander's a real piece of work. Like, who do you think you are? Like, Marjorie can do what she wants.
Let's move out. We have a lot to talk about, my floaty new friend.
Like, if that is inconsistent, if Marjorie's actions are inconsistent with, like, the overall ideals of the guild, or, like, you know, if everyone else in the guild is like, hey, this is a problem, and Marjorie stands alone in her assessment that this is a good idea, then she doesn't belong in the guild. But again, like, who do the commander? No, what? Somebody called you the commander, now you think you're in charge of something? And then we got Keith.
I can't help but feel like I'll be explaining this to Casimir shortly. Given what happened today, I'd feel a little better if someone I knew was watching the chamber.
Someone you trust.
Yes. So could you ask Timey to get here right away?
You're joking with me. I take that as a good sign.
You've been a lot of things, Kate, but you've never been an enemy of this dragon.
I'll lay down my life for... what should we call it?
Her. Her name is Aurene.
You decided that quite fast.
It wasn't a decision. I just knew.
Then no harm will come to Aurene while I still breathe.
Thanks, Kate. After the coming battle with this changed... more powerful Primordus. I hope any of us are still breathing.
Another personal...
Alright. So that represents
What to do now?
completion of Chapter 2, Rise in Flames. And this is where, so already, like, you know, I talked during this chapter about the story starting to go a little bit off track. Because they're, you know, whether you want to say they're trying too hard, or they're, you know, they're just piling too much on. They're gonna make this silly, and that's what they're doing. And I don't really, genuinely, don't feel like this is the source of silliness. They very clearly wanted Irene to be cute and something that we can feel affectionate towards when she initially shows up. And I think that they succeeded in that capacity. I mean, yeah, that's cute. I actually suspect the folks who did the animation for Irene when she was like tiny like this, as having studied kittens when looking for like the body movements and the facial expressions and stuff like that, which was smart. And yeah, I don't know that for a fact. I just strongly suspect it, and I think, you know, if the studio or whatever says something about it, I think that would check out. But that would be a smart play, right? If you want to achieve a certain effect, look at something that is almost guaranteed to achieve that effect and mimic that. But be that as it may, by now, Season 3 is already headed in, like, weird directions, right? So now we have Caudecus. We kept the island from blowing up. We got that. That's fantastic. But now we got Caudecus, Lazarus, Primordus, Jormag. 4 different directions to pull the story, and you know, I got it. Like, undoubtedly, they're going to try and weave it all back together. 4 is way too much. All right, if you want to have one main arc with 2 side arcs, I'm good with. 4 with no clear main arc is silly, and it's what happens when you put 3 different teams in charge of narrative, because that's what happened here. Whoops, not map. So, and this was like well documented. Like the studio talked about it at the time. It's not a secret, and I'm not speculating. 1 team, 2 team, 3 team, 1 team, 2 team, 3 team. So and by the way, 3 team sucks. Sucks. Probably the best. Mediocre. That's no way to tell a story. Not only should they not have 3 different teams doing narrative, they should not have 1 team doing narrative. They should have a narrative director who has overall responsibility for narrative, and then a handful of people supporting him or her or whatever in their efforts, because it's a lot to ask for 1 person, and I understand that. But, you know, this is why Season 3 is going to get progressively worse. So one of the questions that's already being asked at this point, when this wraps up, is who is Lazarus? Because already at this point in time, the community was speculating if, you know, Lazarus is not who he appears to be. And so if today, or let's say, because I started Chapter 3 yesterday. So let's say yesterday was launch day for Chapter 2, Season 3. Already by today, 24 hours after launch, or, it's actually like 30 hours after, the second chapter's out, people are already kind of asking those questions and speculating like that. And that speculation took like you know, there were plenty of theories out there, and some of them were like were solid in that they were well composed, well thought out. People were making compelling arguments in a way that was logical and made sense and so forth. And that's where we really start running into the chicken and the egg question in terms of the storyline. Because at the rate, you know, when we find the answer to some of these questions, there has in fact been enough time potentially for the studio to have been reactive to fans instead of simply telling fans a story. Whether or not that was the case, I don't know. I used to think that it was like 90% probably the case. I used to feel very strongly about that. I no longer feel quite as strongly. I think there is some evidence now that I kind of look back and really kind of try and take a neutral view of it, even though I don't necessarily have a neutral view of Arenanet's ability to craft a tale. If I take a neutral view of that particular issue, I suck. I think there's some decent suggestion that in fact they more or less had a general concept of what was going to happen in season 3 prior to the entirety of, you know, like entering season 3, they at least had a general idea of what they wanted. And there were things in that instance that we just saw that kind of contributed to that assessment in terms of what Lazarus did and what Lazarus was capable of. That maybe support the idea that they already had a pretty solid idea of what they wanted to do at the time that this instance launched. But it's so disjointed and chaotic and childish, and really treats the player like a child in terms of the actual like maturity of the story, that it's easy to speculate that maybe they were flying by the seat of their pants when it came to writing the story. They were making it up as they went. It'd be very easy to reach that conclusion as well. Anyway, all right. We finished up Chapter 2, Season 3, Rising Flames. Maybe tomorrow or maybe not. I don't know. I don't even know if I care right now. But at some point in the near future, we will start A Crack in the Ice, and we move into Chapter 3 of Season 3. So thank you very much for hanging out with me as we wrap up Guild Wars 2 AFK Arena, and look forward to seeing you next time.